Creating this video in good quality is only possible due to Legends of Boxing and Color's great work. Thank you so much for making this possible. Check out the bio, check out the comments for bro's channel link. Yes boys, welcome back on the channel. What if there was a fighter that turned pro in 1940 at the age of 17 and had 100 professional fights by the time he was 22? What if there was a fighter who got involved in a plane accident where people got killed and he suffered bad injuries like bone fractures and jumped back in the ring after just 8 months of recovery? What if there was a fighter who had a 95% win rate in 240 fights? What if I'll tell you that this particular boxer had the best footwork I've ever seen, and I also rate him so high that I put him on my top 3 pound for pound ever? Now, does that get your attention, bro? Because if it does, you're on the right channel and you're on the right video. So get whatever you need to relax and enjoy the video about Willie Pep fighting Famechon. Off to round 1, I will go over 2 things. First of all, Willie Pep's pivoting off of shots. Right now, you can see Willie Pep throwing jabs, but he doesn't just stand there. He's pivoting off of his jabs and other shots. And I also want to speak about this, and I can't stress this out enough. Willie Pep's defense, he's including waist bending and lateral movement. You won't ever see Willie Pep walk back in a straight line. I will really go in detail over this, but I also have to stress out that Willie Pep is pivoting off of his shots, jabs, and other punches. Right there, you will see Willie Pep throwing a gazelle hook and just pivot out on the gazelle hook. Hear me out here. That is defensive responsibility. You punch and you don't wait for the receive. Defense is a huge part of Willie Pep's game plan. He's not only defending off of punches, he's also defending proactively. So when Willie Pep is stepping back in, oh my God, bro, that southpaw counter, I will go over that in super detail. Basically, Willie Pep turns southpaw off of his lateral movement. And yes, I will really go over this in detail. Just keep watching the video. There's a bunch of just gold happening here. Also point out a few things that I like Famechon doing. So Famechon understands that if you slip into one direction, it's smart. It's a good idea not to slip back to the other direction and cross the center line, get bad timing, and then hit. Do you see that? He slips to one direction, and then he just goes further down to avoid the cross. So hey, he slips the jab, and then he bends at the waist even more to slip the cross. So if he slips to the lead side, he slips down even further to the lead side. And if he slips to the rear side, he slips down even further to the rear side, bending at the waist to avoid further punches. Stopping and popping is what Willie Pep does. He's using lateral movement, circling to the left or right, and then he stops, planting both feet. See that? His feet are flat as a pancake. He's not on his toes or whatever. He's circling, he's light on his feet, but when he's about to punch, he is based on the flat foot. And he has the power and the stability to generate real power in those shots. So stopping and popping means moving laterally and then stopping to punch. Back to Willie Pep. Going back, and then don't keep going back though. Don't go back in a straight line. You will get hit. Go back and start circling out as soon as possible. That's what Willie Pep does. Famechon just goes back in a straight line. Let's see what's happening to him. He's getting hit. Because guess what's going to happen if you just go back in a straight line? You will get hit. So after stepping back, you need to make sure that you circle out. Willie Pep is such a crafty guy, man. I just can't see how he's bending at the waist to avoid the big hook. Now he's reaching around with the rear glove, counterclockwise turning by the hips and shoulders, and he just turns his opponent. That's boxing, baby. That's fighting. That's a sweet science. Turning the opponent is a lost art. And Willie Pep just ducks at the waist to avoid the hook, reaches around, turns counterclockwise, and just turns him, bro. Get off of me. That is a real skill. That is real craftiness right there. That's boxing. That's fighting. Just to go over a little bit more about pivoting on the shots. Every lead hand punch lands when the lead foot lands. So Willie Pep is stepping up and over diagonally with the lead foot, and then the rear foot just pivots out. The foot lands when the punch lands. So the jab lands and then the lead foot lands. It's so confusing, bro. I will come back to this in detail. But now, bro, see how Willie Pep moves back from Famechon's up jab, and then he doesn't just go back in a straight line. He instantly starts circling out. I really can't stress that enough, how huge this is going to be for your defense. So driller coach this, my bro. And bro, look at how hard, bro, he's trying to hurt him with those jabs, bro. Look at those jabs. Bro, I have a crazy detail for you coming up, and it's all got something to do with feinting, circling left. Willie Pep, see how Willie Pep fakes out going to the left, and then he bounces off and he goes to the right instead. He will turn that into a punch later. He is getting Famechon used to him just doing a shuffle feint. He gets Famechon to believe that he's going left and then he fakes and then he goes right. But he's going to punch off of that fake later. He's baiting and trapping right now. See, off of going left. See how he throws a southpaw counter left here? Bro, this is going to be huge, bro. Tell me another channel that covers this, bro. Man, oh my God. And you can throw that to the head or body. Off of going left, Willie Pep stops his lateral movement in a southpaw position and throws a counter left. You know how you counter the lead jab with the left jab with a left jab? Well, off of circling left, Willie Pep counters the left jab with a left cross. He just switches to southpaw. Look at how Willie Pep is feinting here. He's feinting and he's getting information that Famechon likes to duck over his lead leg, bend at the waist over his lead leg as defense, which is good defense, but he's doing it in the high guard. So Willie Pep understands how Famechon likes to react to his punches. This is why he's so successful landing uppercuts later. If you're talking about all-time great defensive fighters, best mention Willie Pep. It's not just his footwork, it's his waist and upper body and head movement and positioning as well. Famechon has a really good up jab. You know what? Like the high guard or not, see how he parries the up jab and he just ducks at the waist? That's a good punch by Famechon, but Willie Pep just parries it. And then he bends at the waist to avoid any further punches. He doesn't just bend at the waist, he stands his ground. Another reason why being flat on your foot is good for you and not off to round 6. Willie Pep starts round 6 the way he started round 1. He's starting to use lateral movement and pivots off of jabs. So I really want to point out that Willie Pep is using defensive responsibility even after jabbing. So what is he not doing? Jab. And then just nothing. No, hell no. He's always including defensive responsibility after jabbing. He might step back or he might pivot out. Even if he gets hit, look at how Famechon lands a nice crispy up jab here. But guess what Willie Pep does? He instantly makes sure he gets back and he shoots an up jab of his own, which he lands. Look at that, bro. That's a hard jab. And even off of the up jab, he pivots out. So he doesn't wait for the receive. That tells you something. You can copy that mentality. If you get hit, make sure you get back for it. That's what Willie Pep, he got hit by an up jab. Guess what he does? He instantly throws his own hard up jab back and makes sure that he gets the guy back. Very interesting sequence here because Famechon lands a hard up jab. Willie Pep's like, nope, not having it. Landing my own hard up jab, and now Famechon just, throws another up jab back. So both fighters really utilize on the punch. And oh my days, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. If you duck at the waist over the lead leg, you best run the cross guard, bro. Because that uppercut's gonna bust your bad, bro. Willie Pep's footwork is just amazing. See how he's pivoting off of shots like it's nothing, man. Whatever he does. And I love his fake so much. He's circling out to the left right now. He fakes going left and then how he switches to going right. Bro, this fake right here, he's gonna turn that into punches later. Right now, Famechon believes, okay, well, bouncing off after going left means he's going right. But it's all a bait and a trap. Now bouncing after going left means bouncing at you with a southpaw cross. So Willie Pep, I'm going in detail over this. It's just Willie Pep is using lateral movement, circling out to the left to end up in a southpaw heel-toe stance and then shooting straight shots, even hooks and body shots off of that southpaw stance. Essentially, Willie Pep circles left and ends up southpaw. Willie Pep's education about the jab is obviously elite. Famechon has a great understanding about the jab as well. Now, before I go over Willie Pep's crafty footwork, you can take inspiration by Famechon because he has a great way to defend the jab. He slightly ducks at the waist, and if there is any other shots coming, he just ducks down even further. I guess you can call it a slip. And he also shoots it hard as fuck. Look at that jab. He really tries to hurt. That's what you're supposed to do. Shoot the jab like it's a right hand. Shoot it hard. Shoot it straight down the pipe. Shoot it out of all different angles. And there we go. There we go. Willie Pep shooting a southpaw rear hook. He's circling left using a switch and a feint to load up on a southpaw rear hook. So he is slipping his weight into his left hip flexor, shifts and switches and ends up in a southpaw stance. Look at how close his rear hand is to the target now. And off of that southpaw position that he just shifted and switched to, He is throwing a southpaw lead hook. Then he is ducking over his rear leg. That is his left leg because he's southpaw. And then he just pivots out. He swings that leg out and he ends up in his stance again. And instantly goes back to circling left. See, that was a little breakdown. If you want to know how it's done, World Class Boxing channel on YouTube. Link in the comment section. Tommy and Kello breaks it down in detail. You can learn this. Famechon should adapt to Willie Pep's footwork because Willie Pep keeps look at that. He keeps reaching him because he's just... People think they're safe because, oh, I can walk, but I can step back really fast. I'm bouncing off my... No, guess what? You're gonna get hit if you keep walking back in a straight line. You need to circle out. Right here, you can see Willie Pep doing it. He's going back, bending at the waist. And after bending at the waist, he just pivots out. Yes, he's on the ropes, but he's also doing that when he's not on the ropes. Oh, beautiful defense against the lead hook, pivoting off of that waist bend. If you duck at the waist, bend at the waist over the rear leg, turning your hips and your shoulders counterclockwise to pivot out to your right side, to your rear side, like Willie Pep does here, brilliant move, great defense. So just, ooh, that's your little uppercut. That's what I mean, bro. Willie Pep gets Famechon. He understands Famechon. He understands Famechon runs the high guard combined. As a second layer of defense, he's running waist movement and ducks, which is good defense. It's just that you can exploit it with uppercuts. That's where the cross guard comes into play. See, Willie Pep's using ducks at the waist, but he also uses weaves at the waist. He's using weaves and ducks to pivot out and to circle out. So he's pivoting and circling out off of his weaves and off of his ducks. Another thing about waist movement is that you can time it. Now, again, if you're fighting someone that's very crafty with waist movement, it might be a bait and a trap. But what Pep does here is he's timing Famechon's head movement and shoots a big hook when Famechon is about to throw an up jab. He's basically trading that jab with his own big hook. And now look at what Willie Pep does. Famechon is leaning straight back and he reaches him. That's what I'm saying. See, pulling back might be a good defense sometimes, but I'd rather do that beautiful move by Pep. Ducking, that's what I like against the hook. Don't pull back from it. Bend at the waist, go below it, and then turn your opponent. Look at that nice turn by Willie Pep. Man, you go ahead, watch it again, drill it, try it in sparring, coach it. Man, that turn on the inside is gold. Going over to Famechon a bit, if Willie Pep tries to jab at him while he's ducked over the lead leg, he understands that he can shoot a jab back at Willie Pep. So Famechon's education about the jab is really good. You know, if you get jabbed at, just shoot something back at him. Don't just stand there. Off to round 9, it starts with both fighters utilizing what works great for them. Willie Pep using lateral movement and Famechon using the nice up jab. Now focus on Willie Pep using his circling to the left as a setup to end up southpaw and shoot a southpaw jab. Essentially, Willie Pep is letting his right hand go in a straight line off of going to the left. The thing is, though, you need to pay attention how Willie Pep literally ends up southpaw. He's in his heel-toe stance. He doesn't just square off and let his hand go. He ends up southpaw. He's in a fundamental southpaw stance. And he stays in that stance off of going to the left. Look at how he's weaving and then circling off of that weave. That is beautiful. Let me break that down quick. After throwing that jab, he is weaving to the lead side and then he's pivoting off of that weave. Look at how he swings out his back foot after that weave. So it's punching, weaving, and then pivoting off of that weave. If you weave to your lead side, you can just swing your back foot out and pivot off of it. I will go ahead and really break down how Willie Pep is pivoting to that lead side, just as I explained, but off of a jab. For this next sequence, I need you to pay attention at Willie Pep's lead foot, because that's the first thing you need to understand. When he's jabbing, he's stepping up and over, forward and to the left with his lead foot. The foot touches the ground the second his jab touches Famechon. So the punch lands when the foot lands, after he steps up and over with his lead foot. And getting that little angle, that slight angle, he is just pivoting out with his rear foot, swinging it out, turning clockwise. Essentially, he's stepping his lead foot up and over, and then he swings his rear foot out clockwise, turning clockwise. That's how he pivots off of his jab. Nice up jab there by Famechon. Yeah, that's his best punch. Willie Pep does not let it slide. Look at, bro, he throws the up jab hard and he pivots off of it. Just the way I explained to you. The foot lands when the punch lands, and then the rear foot just swings out. You turn clockwise after you step up and over with your lead foot. Famechon is trying to use a overhand right after a slip to counter Willie Pep's jab. But now Willie Pep is using that extended jab as protection. Look at how Famechon slips to the outside and comes back with a backhand over the top. But Willie Pep is hiding behind the shoulder and just turns him, bro. It's a violation. Essentially, Willie Pep is using his extended jab as protection against the overhand. Now, protection against the overhand by raising your jab, hiding behind the shoulder, that is fine. But turning your opponent off of it using head control, that's bullying, bro. Personally, as a shorter fighter, I like Famechon's defense. It's just, bro, you need to run crossguard if you do this. It's nice defense. Look at how he effortlessly avoids the 1-2 by Willie Pep. It's just if you use ducking over the lead leg like that and you run high guard and he doesn't throw the 1-2, he throws this kind of shot, which he will land later in the fight. Bro, that's losing you fights. You need to use the cross guard if you bend at the waist, ducking over your lead leg like that. At least when you're in range of the uppercut. Of course, if you want to bait the uppercut, now we're getting way too technical. Let's just go back to the video. Willie Pep tries to slip to the inside of Famechon's jab. It's just that Famechon feinted the jab and Willie Pep actually gets checked with a nice check hook. But now he slips to the inside of a hook and lands a nasty lead uppercut to the head. Holy. And he pivots off of it. Look at the defensive responsibility. Slipping to the inside of your opponent's jab or hook and countering with a body shot. Or even a nasty headshot like that. Bro, you can throw that to the body as well. That's a nasty. De La Hoya, he was good at that. Oscar De La Hoya, he was good at that. And now we're going off to the detail that I was speaking about earlier. Willie Pep using his lateral movement, circling to the left as a bait and a trap to end up in a southpaw position and let his backhand go. So this is what he's doing. Look at how him circling left, and now he bounces off the left foot, circling right. Okay, so he's faking directions. Now he's going back left again, bouncing off of the left foot again, but instead of going right, he shoots a backhand down the pipe. He makes you think he's just switching directions, but in reality, he's ending up in a southpaw position and shoot his backhand. He's shooting it to the body, he's shooting it straight down the pipe, he's shooting it as a hook. He's also switching up his punch selection. This is what he's doing. He's circling out to the left. Now he's bouncing off of his left foot to just change directions. He shows you a direction change. He's now circling to the right. Off of circling to the right, he goes back to the left. He's changing directions again. He's getting you used to changing directions. Now, after going to the left again, he's ending up in a southpaw heel-toe stance. And he's just letting his backhand go, mate. Off of going to the left, Willie Pep changes his stance. He's switch hitting. He's switch hitting so smartly as well. You know the fundamental way of fighting the opposite stance? You have an extended lead hand and you have contact with the opponent's lead hand, but you just shoot your backhand like it's your jab. That's what Willie Pep's doing. He's changing stances and letting his backhand go. That's the fundamental way of fighting the opposite stance. Willie Pep is just too good, man. Essentially, Willie Pep isn't just switch hitting. He's preparing his switch hitting with a bait and a trap. Now, I need to give credits to Famechon. He's defending those kind of sneaky shots very well. I want to point out how Willie Pep uses a pivot with the rear leg after going circling to the left. So he has options. He just ends up in his orthodox stance here. So after circling to the left, Willie Pep is just swinging his back foot out clockwise. Now he's in a stance ready to counter. See how he just catches a jab and shoots a jab back? Willie Pep's just doing everything. He's using fakes and level changes. Fakes low, shoots high. Pivots off of the jab. He's doing it, bro. He's just doing it. He's just fucking perfect, mate. Pretty much, you shoot a counter jab back against an opponent that jabs at you. When circling to the left, Willie Pep is shooting a left hand back, but he's shooting it back as a southpaw cross and not just as a counter jab. Look at that. Look at that. When Willie Pep is going to the left, he's using it as an opportunity to end up in a southpaw stance and shoot his backhand down the pipe. Look at that. Bro, yeah, I'll start drilling that one. I think it's also interesting to see how he's using defensive responsibility and a pivot after shooting that backhand. And look at him. Now he's back in his orthodox stance. So he's never like squared up or anything. He's using defensive responsibility and pivots after he's punching to end up in his stance. Look at that. Backhand down the pipe, pivot out, and now he's back in orthodox. He's back in his stance now. I don't give enough credit to Famechon. Look at how nicely he prepares this lead hook. He's shooting a gazelle hook after being bent at the waist over his lead leg. Guess what? You see that? That is a jab, right? He's shooting the up jab the entire fight, but now he's changing it up. He turns that up jab into a lead hook. Brilliant. Fucking amazing. I can't even stress out how great that is. The only reason he doesn't knock his opponent out with that, and yes, you can really spark him out with that, switching up that bend over the lead leg up jab into a lead hook, that is switching up punch selection. And Willie Pep is doing the same thing, off of circling to the left. We've seen him going southpaw off of it and shooting the backhand down the pipe. But here, he's shooting it as a hook to the body. Famechon shows nice defense here. Instantly bends at the waist because, you know, after the hook to the body, Pep might throw that southpaw hook to the head. But, you know, just nice defense by Famechon, ducking at the waist if you're feeling unsafe in terms of maybe he's shooting something at my head is always a good idea, right? We've seen Famechon slipping to the outside and shoot an overhand over the jab. Whoa, look at Willie Pep. He's slipping to the outside of the single mid-range jab and shoots an uppercut off of it. Damn, nasty counter. He does it in both ways. He slips to the inside of the jab and shoots an uppercut. And he also slips to the outside of the jab and shoots an uppercut. Both fighters are utilizing on so many different offensive and defensive tools. See, Pep is using a lead forearm parry after catching the jab here to avoid the backhand of Famechon. Let me try my best to break it down, but Pep is just so crafty with his footwork. See, Pep ends up southpaw again after going to the left. Now he's using a shift and a switch to cover distance and shoot an, oh my god, nasty southpaw hook down the pipe after taking the angle. Are you mad? Look at that nasty angle. You see Usyk doing that all the time. So Willie Pep, as an orthodox fighter, he's just straight up pulling off angles that Usyk, as an elite southpaw fighter, is using as well. Man, Pep is just utilizing elite level skills of a southpaw fighter as an orthodox main. You see what, yeah? Funny enough, you wasn't even allowed to do that at the time. You're forced to stay orthodox at the time, 1950. Look at Famechon, round 15 just starts it off by going straight at a double gazelle hook. See, I already added a little touch to it, but if you're bending at the waist, ducking over the lead leg, you are vulnerable to an uppercut. And Willie Pep isn't just throwing any uppercut, he is pulling Famechon into a southpaw backhand. He's throwing it as an uppercut. Look at that. So off of circling to the left, he's switching stance and he's shooting a backhand. He's shooting it as an uppercut because Willie Pep understands that Famechon is... Do you see that? He's been fighting him for 15 rounds. He understands. Famechon likes to defend against his shots by ducking at the waist over his lead leg. So off of circling to the left, he ends up southpaw and shoots a nasty uppercut to the head. After that uppercut, he also ends up southpaw and follows it up with a strong backhand over the top. So circling left, ends up southpaw, shoots a big backhand uppercut. Oh my god, slips. Oh, you see that, bro? You see? Oh! Bro, Pep is something else, man. Pep is something else. Pulls weight to his lead hip flexor, slips to the inside of the hook, body shot counter, puts the weight back to his rear hip flexor, right hook to the body, gets shooting up with a hook, steps back, bow, pulls him into a counter check hook. God damn it, Willie Pep. It's just the whole package. It's just all of it. Nice defense, as you can clearly see against that hook. Nice pivot off of it as well. So the defense is there. The footwork is there. The offense is there. The counter punching is there. The baiting and trapping is there. He's not missing anything. This is as complete as last time I've gotten this excited watching a fighter as when I've been watching Sugar Ray Robinson. Seeing Pep stepping backwards and then using a rare 45 to block Famechon's hook. See, that's another defense that he uses. And now he doesn't stay there. He's circling out. He's stepping back and then he's circling out. He doesn't just go back in a straight line. Slips to the inside, body shot counter. Gets the angle, throws another lead hook to the body. Who else does that? Back to defense. Willie Pep is really catching Famechon going straight back. So when Famechon is about to pull against his uppercut, see, he's pulling it. That's good defense against uppercuts. But now when he just goes straight back, Willie Pep catches him with a backhand. He's actually switching southpaw off of that uppercut. Do you see that? God damn. Damn, bro, that's some... Let me break down what's happening. So Willie Pep is shooting an uppercut against the forward bent Famechon. Off of that uppercut, he's bringing his rear foot to the front, ends up in a southpaw stance, shoot a big backhand as a southpaw, and then instantly brings his lead foot to the front again. So he's orthodox. He's basically not staying southpaw for too long. He's either using defensive responsibility and pivots to end up orthodox again, or he's just bringing the back foot back to the front. As I said, at the time, you're not even allowed to go southpaw. Ooh, look at that beautiful slip over the top counter. God damn. See, after fishing with a jab, trying to get a trigger response out of Famechon, Willie Pep is throwing an up jab, getting the response that he was looking for, the counter jab, slips it to the outside and shoots a big backhand over the top of Famechon's jab. Holy smokes. Counter hook, bends at the waist after the hook, ends up in a clinch, bro. Willie Pep, man. What I really like about him is how hard he's throwing. Look at the hard up jab, bro. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Throw your jab hard as shit. Bro, your jab. If you can make your jab feel like a straight backhand, that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. Throw jab hard. See, if you can really get your opponent in his mindset and get him to think, damn, like this guy's jabbing hurts. I can't get hit by it. Your feints are going to be way more effective, and feints are the game changer. And now off to round 15. After round 15, Willie Pep is now really getting used to Famechon ducking over the lead leg as defensive responsibility, just hiding behind the high guard. So look at that. He really wants to land that uppercut. Pep is also switching his backhand selection up very decently. So now, when Famechon is coming at him with a jab, he slips to the outside. He's pulling him into a backhand. Now, the thing that I love about it is he's using the trajectory of the punch and shoots an uppercut. You know, when you shoot an overhand, you pull your left shoulder, your lead shoulder down in the last second. And that's perfect. That's the position that you're in after throwing an overhand. So you can throw an uppercut. So he lands a nasty lead uppercut after shooting that overhand over the top. Essentially, after throwing an overhand with the right body mechanics, you're in position to throw any kind of lead uppercut to the head or body. When Willie Pep circles out to the left, Famechon tries to reach him with a jab, and Pep throws his counter left back, but he throws it out of a southpaw stance to the body. So off of circling left, as I said, Pep stops in a southpaw stance and shoots his back, just lets his backhand go. And that's exactly what you're supposed to do. If you fire the opposite stance, let your backhand go straight down the pipe and then turn it into different shots. Bro, if you're still here, then as always, man, seriously, bro, I appreciate you spending time. Look at that crowd. You know what that always makes me think about? Back in the days, you couldn't stream these kind of fights on pay-per-view on the internet. You actually had to be there. So being a boxer back in the days was hard as hell, because you had to be so entertaining and so good that people actually left their house, bought tickets, and then went to the stadium to watch you. So boxing back in the days, man, that was brutal. As I said, bro, we're coming to the end of this video. Willie Pep wins the fight by unanimous decision. And yeah, bro, I appreciate you for sticking around. Support me, bro. I can deliver banger content like this all the time. I will upload more than this, more than just film studies in the future, bro. This YouTube channel will stay lively, and just be welcome in my community, bro. Just leave a like, leave a sub, support your boy, leave a comment, let me know anything, man. And until I see you in the next time, just whatever happens right now, bro, you got it, man. Keep your head up, my guy. I'll see you in the next one. Peace and blessings.